Hi guys, it's me again, Mark from Coastside, and we are working through the book of James, and we're up to James chapter 2. It's the third week now, third week that we have been chatting about James chapter 2, and there's a really strong theme coming through James chapter 2, talking about treating everyone well and everyone with respect, talking about loving our neighbor and doing the right thing. But it's not just us chatting about it. It's James keeps talking about it here in James 2 because he really wants to make a point and he wants to help us love everyone and treat everyone equally. It says this, and I want to start with this one today. In James chapter 2 and verse 10, it says, "For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking it all. For he who said, do not commit adultery, also said, do not murder. If you do not commit adultery, but you do commit murder, haven't you broken the law?" Now, I know that sounds like a lot of information there, but what James is saying is it's not just about whether you do one thing wrong or whether you do 100 things wrong. He wants us to really try and do the right thing, especially with respecting other people all the time. You see, it's not whether you shoot one person or whether you shot 10 people. Don't shoot anybody. It's not whether you're just nasty to one person or whether you hate everybody. Don't hate anybody. And James is making a point here that just getting it half right isn't good enough, or just getting a bit of it right isn't good enough. He wants to make sure that we do the right thing all of the time. And to the best of our ability, we understand that we absolutely have to treat everybody in this world equally. We have to treat our parents, our kids, our neighbours, our friends, the people we don't even know in the shopping centre, people from other countries that speak other languages, the colour of our skin. Everybody must be treated well and everyone must be treated with respect. James says this in verse 12. It says, "Speak and act as those who are going to be judged by the law that gives freedom." You know, what James wants us to do, he wants us to treat other people the same way that we would want other people to treat us. And this thing with the law, it's a good one because Jesus came down and said this: no one's going to be able to live by the law. No one is going to get it right all of the time, even though that's what our aim is. But he came down to make it right. And when we got the wrong thing, or when we did the wrong thing, when we messed up, Jesus paid the price for us so that we could stay connected with him. And what he's asking us to do is this: if he paid the price when we messed up so we can stay in good relationship with him, he's asking us to pass that forward, that where other people may mess up in our life, that we can still respect them, love them, and treat them well. You know, this is the third week that we've been on this topic. And I want to encourage you. It's a big deal that we need to love and respect people, all people, regardless where they're from, what color they are, what language they speak, full stop. And James is saying the same way that where we messed up and where we got it wrong and Jesus then forgave us, when other people mess up or even get it wrong towards us, that we must forgive them. There's not even an excuse to dislike someone or to dishonor someone, even when they've done the wrong thing by you. And this is a big deal, because over the last couple of weeks we've been just talking about do the right thing, love everyone, love your neighbor, just treat everyone equally, treat everyone with respect. But what happens when they haven't respected you? What happens when they haven't done the right thing by you? What happens when they've let you down and there's this little foothold where you can say, you know what, I don't have to respect that person. I don't have to respect the police or the government or my husband, my wife, my kids, my mum, my dad, because they've done this wrong. And what James is saying is, listen, he knows that people do the wrong thing. People are people. Are governments correct or get everything right? Well, of course they don't. Do police? Of course they don't. Does their next door neighbor? No. Do parents? No. Do kids? No. No one gets it right 100% of the time. And what James is saying is this: we have to respect everyone no matter what, and even if they've done the wrong thing and given us an excuse not to respect them, we still have to respect them, and we still have to do the right thing by them. You know, James says that we need to act and work out of another law. There's one law where if we break it, you know, whether we've hurt one person or 10 people, it's gone. But there's a new law that says we give grace to not only one person, but to every person. How many times do we forgive? 70 times 70. It is endless the amount of times that we need to forgive people and should forgive people when they've done the wrong thing by us. And James is saying on this topic, where we should respect everyone on the planet, where we should treat everybody equally, there's not even an excuse not to treat people well, even when they've offended you. And I just love how James has put that in. And I love that that's exactly the same way that God's treated us. When we get it wrong, God still loves us. When we blow it, God still loves us. When we do the wrong thing, God is still there for us and he still loves us. He's got an eternity for us and he treats us with respect. He paid the ultimate price for dying for us so that we could keep that relationship. All we need to do is pass that on to everybody else in the world. Whether they've done the right thing or the wrong thing, we are treating everyone with respect and we're treating everybody equally. Well, there's a lot to think about in this, but I really hope, I pray that we are really grabbing hold of something that we can really not just read about this and not just watch videos on it, but we can actually start to do it to every single person in the world. Anyway, until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you soon.